Hey guys, welcome back to Team Draft Super League. Joined by the champ himself, Mike Sigrist. Still damage in some of the games.
I said I played one close game with you, and that was it.
I flooded out real bad. I was pretty tilted, but
yes, you did. Yes, you did.
But still able to win. But
yeah,
it was tilting for a while. But yeah. So how'd your draft go?
It was interesting. I was blue-green through the first pack, and I assumed either you or Hayne was red-white because the 3/3 gold guy didn't wheel. So I thought I was in a good place, and then I opened Hour of Devastation. Obviously didn't want to pass that to you. And then Ben, I guess, was blue-green on my left. So I just ended up moving right into red, and my deck's like extremely medium.
Yeah, I had a very strong inkling that Hayne would be red, especially passing me a Sand Strangler pack 1. So I just kind of dabbled in red a little bit here and there. Made sure that you would take a few red cards just because there was no chance that you would ever be able to get anything playable out of red. And anytime there was a playable red card, I made sure to take that to add to my deck and otherwise focus on white. Yeah, your deck looks like something.
Yeah, it's
the archetype that you usually go for. I know you really are big on 2/2s for 2 with no ability, especially in your deck with sweepers and other blue X spells. But all right, sounds like our match is ready. We've got Ben trying to keep us alive. Is that what's going on? Ben versus Steve?
Yeah.
All right, so we'll see what happens. It's been a tough night for CFB the Coup, but go Ben. Welcome back to Team Draft Super League and what's sure to be the final match after seeing how Steve has drawn his cards lately. Got Ben's deck, if that's what you want to call it, and well, I mean, Steve's deck is a piece of work too. Just find that the 3-color 15-land special.
Yeah,
this with is a lot of medium cards.
This is a pretty interesting matchup because Ben's creatures are generally pretty big, and Steve's creatures are generally pretty bad, but the removal in Steve's deck doesn't line up that well with the creatures in Ben's deck, I think. So, yeah,
I mean, torrents are decent, especially when you're drawing dead to drawing 2 of them in a row. But yeah, not as good against Greater Sandworm.
With the splashed Magmaroth in hand.
What? What did you say? Are you trolling or not?
No, I'm not trolling. He had a Magmaroth in his hand the whole time.
So he had worse than a blank in hand and was just dead on board. All right, good beats. Well, there's Sand Strangler. This was a tough draft to get deserts. It was just a barren. It was just an oasis. Everyone was flooded with nice watery lands. No deserts to be found. My second picked a Painted Bluffs. I took one of those colorless one that if it dies you get a 2/2. Some point in pack 2.
3 in your deck, right?
Yeah, I got to cut the colorless one that did nothing unless I sack it to Ruminap Ruins. But yeah, I mean, my deck started like my first picks went like Deserts Hold, Sand Strangler, Wall. So I'm like kind of all in on deserts already, and I just want deserts. Pretty lucky to get like a 5th pick Ruminap Ruins pack 2.
Yeah, that was through me. I don't remember what I took.
Yeah,
if I'd known you had all those desert cards, I would have taken it, that's for sure.
No, I mean, you drafted well and got rewarded. All right, so Ben's getting in there with his 1/3 against this 3/1. Not something you see every day. Followed up with a Striker. Now, Steve used his Ambuscade to kill one of the few creatures that his Torrents can actually deal with.
Yeah.
How many deserts does Steve have? I assume
one. One Painted Bluffs.
That he also took early, apparently, since I second picked mine.
Yeah. That was a good draw from Steve. The Resilient Kenray gets to actually fight through this sinuous Striker now.
Yeah. And a surprise twist. Steve draws the card he wants. So 5 damage. Jeez. Aiming it
So he's
down.
gonna go
Steve
get a
seems
swamp.
pretty good.
Or a mountain, and then he's going to play the other one. Yeah.
Chad is saying that Steve picked Painted Bluffs first. Yeah, it's hard to cut that. Wow, these hands are something. This game does not look good for Ben.
No, it doesn't. I do like cycling there.
Yeah, not really much of a choice. Can't really just pass with your 6 and 7 and off-color card in hand, stuck on 4 lands.
I like no attack, even though he can untap his thing. It kind of... let's see what Steve's going to do here. All right, so Steve drew Runa Stalwart. I suspect Steve is just going to attack with both his creatures. Maybe not with... Nah, maybe...
I don't love it.
Yeah, I don't love it either, but like he has to get through that Pharaoh Prowler at some point.
Yeah, but also, like, Ben didn't do anything on his turn. You're just giving him the ability to...
Yeah, you are giving him a turn. Yeah, that's a fair point.
Like, if you can just keep developing your board, you're going to get to stir the sands. Ben's just doing nothing. Yeah, this game is firmly in Steve's control. Wow! And he draws his power piece.
Yeah, so I guess Ben is just going to cast it. Trading off the Quarry Hauler for the Sinuous Striker just seems miserable.
Yeah, I don't love it. You know, you can just get your power piece into play, and you know, this is a 5/5. Oh, he does have the Essence Scatter, so that'll keep Magnaroth from slowly whittling away on the board.
Now the
Hippo is actually going to come down, so that's going to be the biggest creature in play. And
yeah,
Steve does not really have answers to this, right?
Yeah, that's what I was kind of worried about. Well,
that's a decent one, I guess, just because he's got creatures in play.
Yes. So let's see if Steve mounts some kind of attack here because he drew that. I don't really know.
Yeah, especially with Ben papped out. You know, Ben's got a reasonable number of tricks. You know, you played around them for a long time so that you got to prolong the inevitable.
Yeah.
But
yeah, there was not much for me to do. Yeah, so now
you got to sweep the board of most of its creatures and then die to the remaining ones.
That did happen. So Steve, so I wonder if I'm Ben here, I might start attacking with the striker. I guess maybe not. You do want to get that guy flipped because it's much better with Aven Wind Guide in play, but
true.
I guess he's comfortable just casting it and playing the waiting game because Steve's not pressuring him. Yeah, this is a fine attack. If I'm Steve, I'm just blocking with the Resilient Kenry here. Not too worried about the flip side of that, especially with Torment of Venom in my hand.
Yeah, Ben doesn't actually really have something he wants to discard to bring this back now.
No. He's just
lay out his 7th land before attacking. Is that what happened? Oh no, it was the plains. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, there's no way you want that forced in play here, but yeah. I guess he did need 6 mana for that. Yeah. Still looking. No. Okay.
Yeah. I think this is looking pretty good for Ben.
Really?
Yeah. I mean,
Steve's just going to draw his Painted Bluffs.
Well, if he draws the Painted Bluffs, then yeah, I agree with you. Oh, he's going to shrink the...
Another one of Ben's power pieces put in harm's way here, down to a 2/3.
There's still no attack for Steve here. I guess he just wanted to use his mana efficiently.
Wait, this was on Ben's end steps. So he still has a turn.
Yeah, but I just mean, like, he wanted to use his mana that turn so that he could cast all these garbage cards in his hand. None of which actually do anything.
One of which is just the best card in the set.
Yeah.
Assuming he draws his Painted Bluffs. Yeah, these stalwarts are not...
Steve's option is just play the Ritualist to use his mana, but he also can actually attack with Ronis' Stalwart now. Assuming Ben doesn't just flashback into a striker, but yeah, I suspect.
Yeah, there's no reason to think that. Well, here's the deal: Ben's either going to bring back the striker or he's going to cast another spell. Like,
yeah,
he doesn't really have the option to do neither. So if he draws a land, he's going to bring back the striker.
Yeah.
In all likelihood. So what does the Wind Guide do? It gives tokens, flying, and vigilance
and flying. So yeah, so
not bad.
Without a way to exile, without something like Puncturing Blow or whatever, the Wind Guide's going to be a problem. So like, Steve could have waited on the Torment of Venom and then killed the Wind Guide when it was attacking, so he could at least trade off for the back half of the Sinuous Striker.
Good point. That involves him not playing spells kind of for a couple turns, and then you know Ben knows that Steve has 2 of those, as well as I believe Steve actually has 2 Stinging Shots in his main deck.
Ben also just has Synchronized Strike, so it wouldn't have worked out because he could just pump the Wind Guide, even though it's going to die in the end step. It would still stay in play during the attack phase. So,
but that's not really too bad a spot for Steve. If he is able to find one of these Stinging Shots, it's going to be pretty good.
So 12 to 17 here.
Steve does not act quickly.
He's only got 2 turns. Only 10, 11, 12. Yeah, he's just on a 2-turn clock, right?
Yeah. That he is. There's not a whole lot he can do about it. I mean, he could cycle this Stir the Sands.
I would definitely be looking to cycle at this point because the creatures aren't that effective anyways.
At this point, the desert is not huge, although this Quarry Hauler could get in there. Yeah, Steve's got a reasonable number of options. None of them are truly amazing. Where would you start? You think you just start with the cycle?
I would just start with cycling. Yeah, you need to find a way to not die. He does have the Resilient Kenra too, but it's not really. I mean, it just basically flashes it back and it eats the Prowler. I think he has to cycle this turn. I guess he can get in a big attack with the Stalwart. With the Resilient Kenra, if how much is this? So Steve thinks he's on a 6.
I mean, if Ben doesn't have an island or a spell, it's 3 turns.
Yeah,
clock, that's a lot of ifs.
It is a lot of ifs.
Well, Force is definitely the best draw in the deck for Steve's sake.
Yes, absolutely.
Just the biggest blank. But for the last few turns, Steve has not been able to do anything. Has not been able to attack. So he's basically, if he draws a Stinging Shot here, though, another power piece, of course. So he's going to have to draw something here just to prolong the game. That's not it.
That's not going to do it.
Wow. Steve looked pretty far in control. I feel like I just misevaluated something at some point in the middle of the game because it really looked like Steve had the better board and the much better hand, and Ben was forced to just start cycling things like Greater Sandworm with none of his cards being able to do anything.
Yeah, he just the problem was that like Prowler shut down.
Does he have a good attack here? Actually, I guess Synchronized Strike makes sure that can't really be the case, but that would not leave Steve dead. Oh, and he's only attacking with this one creature, so.
Yeah, no, I don't. Yeah, I don't think Steve had any good attacks other than that. Really, he maybe could have got him. Didn't even got any damage.
Yeah, I guess
I think
Ben doesn't really have to worry about the striker dying.
He thinks he has one more turn. He's hoping to draw, probably hoping that Ben doesn't have anything, and that he draws Tormented Venom so that he can block the Sinuous Striker. Like it's the only way I think he can win this game.
Well, if he draws something like that, he's just gonna win. Like he's got a bunch of creatures in play. Ben's at 5.
Yeah,
but he is dead.
Yes, he is.
All right.
We will be going to game 2.
Game 1 to the coup. Well, I assume that Ben will be taking out his copy of Stinging Shot. I haven't really studied Steve's deck list, but I imagine he's got no flyers.
Yeah.
And Ben's deck really just needs desert. It's got a bunch of desert payoff cards. He's got a wall in his sideboard that he can't use because of just the one desert.
He has one Oasis. That's it. Steve's just playing all the desert cards anyway with his one desert. So.
Yeah, you know, Steve's got a Splash Hill Giant.
I guess, yeah, Steve does have double Lethal Sting. So that's pretty good against Ben's big creatures.
Yeah, good point.
I really
forgot about those completely.
Does he have any artifacts? Oh, he has a Manolith, and he's bringing in the wall. So it would be gas if Steve decided to bring in the Manglehorn, but...
Does Steve actually have things to bring out other than his unplayable main deck cards? Like Magnaroth?
He can trade like his 3/3 can't block for a 3/2 can block.
I'm saying, is he going to bring in... Like, he doesn't know the wall's coming in, so is he going to bring in Manglehorn for one artifact?
Yeah, I don't think he's going to bring it in.
He certainly could. Like, being able to kill that's fine. 2/2 is just kind of bad in the matchup. It would be better against a deck like mine where there's a lot of things to trade with.
Yeah.
But Magnaroth is a card that you can't even cast, and it does nothing. So like,
he was considering for a second bringing it in against you, and I think he just like looked at your deck list. He saw that you had a wall that I could kill, and if you had more creatures that he could trade with, then maybe he would do it. But
I have a good number. I guess it kind of depends. A lot of my 2-drops are 2 Mummy Paramounts on the 3/1 Exert, which it could trade with Mummy Paramount. But
yes, it could. You actually
I have very few zombies. But.
Well, you had like the Manticore, multiple Paramounts. Like it just wasn't always going to be able to, and it wasn't good enough anyway. So I definitely agree with him not bringing it in. Yeah, if I'm Steve, I'm going to
wait until there's 2 seconds on my clock to hit submit, just to keep it consistent. Don't give off any tells.
yeah, just like you did last time.
Sat there for so long. I literally went to sideboard and clicked submit immediately. The one card I would consider bringing in a matchup like this historically might be something like that Seraph, and then he just has like 2 Torments and 2 Stinging Shots. It's like actively horrible. Wow, right off the top, power piece.
That's good. Might be
all right. It's an interesting game.
Rooting for Ben to draw his other Vizier target here. I don't even remember what it is, but I remember casting it.
That's what he did the only other game I saw it get cast.
Yeah. Appeal to Authority, Wall of Forgotten Thing combo.
Really, Siggy, you're getting judgy right now. Huh? Defiant Kendra Hour of Devastation deck. Oh, wow.
My deck's scrappy.
Yeah, if you remove the S, it sure is.
All right. What was this other target for this? I don't remember.
The Wind Guide.
Oh, the Wind Guide. Oh, yeah. It was great. Never mind.
Oh, wow. He drew his combo.
Game here.
He drew his combo.
Let's see if he sees it.
He sees it. It's the only reason to put a Magnaroth in your green-black deck. Wow, this Magnaroth's going to actually be a problem, huh?
Yeah, it's big.
It's not big. It's got his stamina. Here we go. Yeah, I assume Ben's going to cash in one of these things. Go upstairs. Yeah, we need a forest, and we also need gas. It's a bad combo. That's not either. It's not a good draw.
Well, it gives him a land to... That's interesting. I would have just played the farmland so I could play my...
Yeah, I was thinking that initially, but the thing is he doesn't want his 6... Like, the island is then just a dead card, which is fine to have when you have the striker in play, but, like...
Oh, yeah, he
needs another forest. Right.
Yeah, I didn't even know
if he had another forest, he would play the farmland 100% of the time.
So Steve's considering playing Travis Amulet pre-combat or not, because the stamina will remove the counter anyways.
Right.
So attacking with Quarry Hauler isn't great. It just trades with the striker. So I get, yeah, he's going to do it anyways.
Yeah, I mean, it's good for Ben that he's cashing into stamina.
Yeah, I agree.
I assume he's cashing into stamina, I guess. Like, he does get to play 2 spells, assuming that is what he does. He's going to get to play this 4/4. So if Ben doesn't find a forest, I mean, he's just going to have, 4 relatively good-sized creatures in play. Oh, he didn't cast it.
Interesting.
Just let his power piece die.
Poor sequencing from Steve there. He didn't play a land, right? Or maybe he did.
Of course. Not as good now. Supernatural Stamina is definitely the card that punishes you here.
Yeah, yeah.
Alright, so what? Ben could just play the Striker and draw a card. It's not great, but he doesn't actually have it. Like, I mean, this Hippo is obviously just incredibly good against not stamina and basically anything else.
Yeah. So Steve's gonna thin his upkeep because it's basically free. Let's see what he draws. Punish.
Rewarded for thinning, yeah.
I suspect Steve will just attack with both his creatures.
Yep.
How much damage does?
This is bad. And this could be just Torment, it could be Stamina. It's something that's going to be real bad for Ben, though. I guess the consideration is if it's Torment, what you can do is double block the 4/4.
Yeah,
that works out pretty well for you. It might just still be the right play.
Ben is high enough that he may just want to. Well, he doesn't have lethal, I guess, is the issue. He can flashback the Senior Striker. That puts 5 creatures on board. That's 7. That's 12. He'll have 14.
Yeah, that's what Ben's considering.
Yeah. I think this block's fine.
Just to draw a cheap creature? It's not that.
So, 7, 9, 12. Looks like Ben's going to lead off with cycling. Is that what he's doing? Okay, no, he's casting the back half of that. All right, yeah, this makes sense.
Yeah, this seems easily correct. He gets to exert, draw an extra card.
Oh yeah.
Oh, this is a really good turn for Ben.
Yeah, great turn for Ben.
Right now he gets to bring back the Striker, draw another card. Wow, what a game.
Depends who you're rooting for.
Well, I mean, it's just a good game of Magic. I mean, Steve drew his Magnaroth, so it's only fair. All right.
Yeah, this one's wrapped up.
It is.
It would take horrific misplay from Ben here to lose this one. Might come down to the battle of the O2s.
I got what I imagine is a pretty terrible matchup against Alex. I mean, in his 2-0 deck.
His deck's pretty good, but it's not. I mean, obviously the best cards in his deck are better, but.
Yeah. Yep.
I think it'll be a close match either way.
Yeah, I'll probably flat out. Or get screwed.
Or get screwed. One of those two.
Either way. Well, Ben made a statement with this green-white split card a couple weeks ago in Team Draft Super League and got laughed at mercilessly. Who's got the chips now?
So if I'm Ben, I'm just gonna probably play Giant Spider, cast my both halves of my card. I don't really think there's anything he can lose to.
Yeah, I mean, you need to make sure you target the right creature. Make sure
just cast
no
target strike so you don't get blown up by Tormented Venom.
Yep.
Ben's just taking his time, making sure he doesn't mess anything up, making sure Steve doesn't have any instance that can punish him. Ooh, just targets the hippo.
And there it is.
All right.
4-3.
At least one more.
Are you ready?
I'm hoping I don't have to play, but yeah, I'm ready.
Yeah, get another one of those sweet Defiant Kenra hour draws. Probably be good enough.
Well, I think if I could beat anyone, it's Luis's deck from like just the sizing of his creatures. But
yeah,
I don't know. I haven't looked at his deck that much.
I mean, Luis has won a game, so he's got an edge.
He does.
All right, we got at least one more round coming up for you. Hopefully, we'll be able to take it down, and we'll get to see what everyone wants to see. Battle of the Titans.
Battle of the O2s.
Only in stature, not in record tonight, since they're both O2. But we'll see what happens. Or Hayne will just go 3-0 and make sure that this thing is over in a jiffy. But yes, stay tuned. More Magic.
Looking for a challenge? Magic Online offers monthly limited and constructed events, which lead to the yearly Magic Online Championship. Download Magic Online at mtgo.com and start earning the points you need to enter. Check out Hour of Devastation booster draft leagues on Magic Online. Draft anytime, play anytime. Available now. For more information, visit mtgo.com. HasCon is happening September 8th through 10th in Providence, Rhode Island. HasCon will be hosting a Magic the Gathering Iconic Masters release event, 25th anniversary drafts, Magic spell slinging, and all your favorites from the world of Hasbro. Join the family.
Hey everyone, welcome back to the TDSL. I'm SCOTT-VARGAS here with Steve Rubin. We're going to see the fate of our draft. If Eric can win this match against Alex Hayne, then I get to play Sigrist in the Battle of the O2s.
Yeah, I mean, that would be pretty exciting. There hasn't been too many... Has there been a week that has gone to the last match yet? I don't think so, from what I've seen.
I think one has so far.
Okay. So maybe an exciting finish here. We have Hayne playing his blue-red as he normally is against Ifro, playing a pretty good red-white deck. I think that looking at the deck list, I think that Eric might actually have a pretty good matchup here. Hane's like blue-red, but he's a little slow and doesn't have like the magma sprays or cards like that to kind of keep up early.
Yeah, he has a couple cunning survivors, but they don't match up all that well against Eric's like solitary camel and like only paramount if he can trigger it, that sort of stuff.
Yeah, well, I mean, Eric does have the Dauntless Haven and the aerial guides, kind of like those kind of trade off pretty evenly, but we'll see. I mean, Alex does have like some, like the puncturing blows just seem kind of super medium, where normally they'd be really good, and like Emberhorn Minotaur, which also is like, you know, normally a great card if you're playing against any mid-range deck. When you're playing against a red-white Exert deck, it's actually not, I mean, it's not actively bad, but it's just not as good as it normally is.
For sure. And we'll see if Eric can outrace Alex there. So you ended up finishing, what was your final record?
2-1. I just lost to Ben.
And you defeated myself and Eric.
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with the 2-1, honestly, because my deck, the mana wasn't great, and it wasn't that
I would have been happy with the
deck.
2-1 with your deck also.
Yeah. I probably should have just played 16 lands. I don't know. It's tough to say when you have like multiple Traveler's Amulets, because you want to just replace lands with them, but I've run into troubles in the past where, you know, you just draw the amulet when you need to draw an actual land to cast your spell, and this format is pretty fast. Like, that ends up losing you the game. It didn't actually cost me this draft, but it definitely could have.
Yeah, we saw Traveler's Amulets work out fairly well for you, as it turned out.
Yeah, I didn't draw them much, and when I did, it didn't hurt me at all. So that's kind of how you draw it up, I guess.
So explain to us the logic behind Magmaroth. That was a card we talked a lot about in commentary.
Well, my teammates actually told me to play it. I'm not blaming them because I submitted the deck, but I was kind of low on creatures, and I actually have a pretty heavy spell count for a green-black deck. Like right now, my deck has it has Quarry Hauler and Oasis Ritualist, which are the other 4-drops, but aren't necessarily cards I'm like too happy to play on turn 4. I wanted like a big creature so that my like Cartouche of Ambition and Ambuscade and also my Lethal Stings are pretty good, because like I have all these small creatures that I don't really want to use with Lethal Sting, and Magmoth is like, I don't know, it's obviously awkward, and I almost lost the game because I had it against, I think, Eric, and if I just had any card, I would have won. But instead, I had the Magmoth. So I don't know. I guess that didn't work out, but I trust my team.
Magmaroth, Lethal Sting, that's just like a Mondo combo.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't actually accomplish much, but you don't. It's like you achieve no minus counters, so it's kind of nice.
All right. Well, now that we've explained the mystery of the Magmaroth, we're ready for our match. The players are ready, and let's head down to the second to last match here on the Team Draft Super League. Hey everyone, welcome to round 5 of the Team Draft Super League for tonight. I'm SCOTT-VARGAS here with Steve Rubin. We're going to watch Eric Froelich against Alex Hane. It looks like Hane won the die roll, of course, and has a pretty solid hand here. He's got 2 good 2-drops, 2 good 4-drops.
Mm-hmm. He doesn't have the 4th land. The riddle form isn't too impressive, but it looks like Ifro has a reasonable hand too. I mean, it's actually possible that Oketra Avenger seems like it'd be really good in this matchup. Like, none of Hane's creatures actually block it, and he has no cheap removal. Oh
wow, the draw of Resolute Survivors there is very good for Ifro, as he's going to be able to attack with Oketra's Avenger, exert it, drain Hane for 1 with the Resolute Survivor, and then curve out very nicely.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like probably the ideal start from Eric. Like, he goes his best 2-drop into 3-drop. Hane will be able to Puncturing Blow it, the Resolute Survivor, so he might be able to get a little bit ahead on board, and he's actually going to play the Cutting Survivor because he figures that I guess he's likely to play the Emberhorn Minotaur next turn.
Also, it forces Eric to exert the Oketra's Avenger, so...
Oh, yeah, so,
a little bit of
that's
extra
actually...
bonus.
Yeah, that's a pretty good play from Hane. I didn't even see that, but looks like Eric is exerting, draining. Likely just going to see an immediate Puncturing Blow. Eric has like a lot of creatures that are kind of expensive, but none of them are really that big or that threatening, I don't think. Like, he's got a few winged shepherds, so I think that firing off the puncturing blow is something that Hayne might do earlier in this matchup than normal, but I guess it is also enticing to go double 2-drop or Minotaur. I mean,
if he plays a Minotaur, then Eric might not be able to attack. If he plays double 2-drop, likewise, Hayne's got a couple different blocks here, and this opens up for extra damage off Riddle Form, both coming and going. But Eric can attack here. He's got Mighty Leap.
Yeah, he has one of his tricks. He has a Mighty Leap, and he also has a Kindled Fury, which both allowed an attack. So even if Eric didn't have one of those cards, he probably could attack here if he wanted to. It's possible, though, he wants to stay on defense just because he's looking at a lot of damage. He's on the draw, and he's got like the Sunscorched Champion and the Wall, which are both kind of defensive cards. Like, we'll see what he does, though. The Mighty Leap, I suppose, is aggressive, but
yeah, and I imagine he will attack the Survivor, no exerting as he does, because he knows it's going to survive this turn. In fact, as you mentioned, I don't even know if Alex can double block, and then Eric gets to follow up with a Sunscorched Champion, and
which is a pretty good blocker on this board. It's likely to get puncturing blowed, but even then, like, Eric's other creatures are the ones that are attacking for more, or more threatening. So it's kind of puts Hayne in an awkward spot. Like, what does he want to puncturing blow? He probably has to just hit the champion and try to race. No, he's going to hit the Resolute Survivors. Okay, so he's going to play it a little slower, which I think is a good decision.
Yeah, I like that, especially because the Sunscorched Champion can't attack into Cunning Survivor by itself. So now Eric wishes he had exerted, but no way to know that he's going to lose his creature. Good thing is the Sunscorched Champion prevents a lot of damage. And Eric doesn't expect that Riddle Form to attack every turn.
Yeah, I mean, it's and not to mention, Hayne's hand is kind of gummed. Even if he draws a spell, he won't be able to like attack with the Riddle Form and cast a spell. And Eric actually draws a red source, which is a really nice draw for him, because now he can actually deploy another real threat to the board and kind of force Hayne to do something.
Wow, this is kind of brutal. I might actually have to play Sigris next round.
Yeah, you just might, Luis. It looks like he does go with the Manticore, and Hayne doesn't really have a great answer. I mean, he can block with the Minotaur, but it's just so bad in the face of the Afflict. Like, blocking an Afflict creature against a deck with combat tricks like Mighty Leap, Sandblast, and Kindled Fury is just a real big issue. Also, Eric is very close to just like Mighty Leaping the Minotaur and just attacking for 7 with Ramunap Ruins and Wall of Forgotten Pharaohs. Like, I doubt he's going to do that this turn, but he's so close to just killing Alex right away here. Yeah, I mean, his hand is essentially just burn, and he has the Ramunap Ruins in play already. No extra red source for that, but the Manticore is also essentially burn. Like, even if Alex will take it, then it'll just be lethal if he ends up Mighty Leaping it this turn. There is, I guess he has to maybe respect Kindled Fury, but we'll see what Eric decides to do. And he draws Mountain, so actually the burnout plan is pretty reasonable here.
And he also knows that he can't he can't be stopped here, because unless Alex had a 1-mana red spell to animate Riddle Form, this is gonna get through.
Yeah, and the only card I think in Alex's deck is a Kindled Fury, which still, like, he can't profitably block, and even if he does, he's taking 3 instead of 7, so it's not even a good scenario. So Hayne actually has 0 outs, I think. He has no life gain, and I don't think he can draw something to win the game this turn.
That's exactly what I want to hear.
I suppose he could have drawn a Puncturing Blow, but no, it's a catch-22 because he can't kill both the Wall and the Manticore, which both represent at least 1, and he just scoops. So we're going to a game 2 here.
Yep. So Steve, do you remember the last match we played at Worlds?
Yeah.
I found that match very funny because the way that match concluded was I made a horrible mistake.
Yeah.
In the way I fetched my lands.
Oh, really?
I don't know if I ever told you about this. Okay. So for the chat, I'm playing against Steve in the last round of Worlds. This is Modern. We know we're not playing for top 4 at this point. I think we knew it was pretty clear we were going to get like 5th, 6th,
or something.
Something like that. But the prize difference is pretty big. There's like a $5,000 prize difference or something. And I fetch a black source, a black-white land instead of a green land, and then on like turn 4, I can't cast 2 Tarmogoyfs because my hand is my hand is Tarmogoyf, Thoughtseize.
Yeah.
And so instead, and I don't have the life to pay, or I don't have I don't have 3 life. I'm at 3 exactly. I don't have 3 life to crack fetch and get an untapped green source. I don't have a basic left. So instead, I cast Thoughtseize. You had 1 card in your hand. It was no rest for the wary, or
rest in peace. I remember that part of the match.
Yeah. So I thought seize your rest in peace. Play a Tarmogoyf, and now it's a 5/6. It would have if I had played 2 Tarmogoyfs and you had slammed rest in peace, I would have just died.
Yeah. I mean, pretty brutal, but it happens. I mean, I also made a mistake in that match. I don't remember. I guess I don't remember if it was game 1 or game 2 where I could have. I missequenced my Drowner of Hope.
That was actually that same game in game 3 where.
I think it was game 2. I don't think I won a game, but maybe I did.
Sorry, the same game, whatever game.
Yeah.
Yeah. You tapped instead of just attacking with everything or whatever. Yeah, and I had exile.
Yeah, I remember specifically thinking it's better against Damnation, but you actually had already played your only Damnation, which was kind of just the biggest beat because I went for the win, and also you had paused at points in my attack step and upkeep that I should have just known that you had a path. But anyway, we're so it goes, and we're on to game 2 here. Looks like Alex has a reasonable curve, but he's going to need a few lands. And same thing with Eric, both looking for another land here. And Eric does have a Catcher's Avenger again, this time kind of comboed with his Dauntless Avens. So really strong draw. Ooh, there's a Blazing Volley. Holy cow. That's a pretty insane draw from Alex.
It is. He can play it, but I think what he's going to do is just play Aerial Guide on 3 and try to have a more mana-efficient turn. Though the way his hand is set up, he's never playing 2 spells in a turn with this game.
Yeah.
If Eric plays a Dauntless Aven this turn, this game is almost going to be over.
Yeah, it's weird, though. I don't know if he might play the Unwavering Initiate. Which I think that it saves him damage because it's a reasonable better blocker and it has Vigilance, and it also plays around the 1 Blazing Volley that's in Haynes' sideboard.
Yeah, that worked out nicely for Eric. Though the Initiate can't block a whole too well.
I forgot that. All right, so looks like Hayne is going to attack with just his Aerial Guide.
If he attacks with just Aerial Guide and passes, he might be setting up Blazing Volley, block your Unwavering Initiate, and just try to buy some time here.
Yeah, he can also... I like this play from Alex because if Eric doesn't play another X1, he can actually just blur the Unwavering Initiate and then Blazing Volley. And he might actually do that in combat. Let's see what he does. I think he's just going to take it. No, he's going to block and go for the blur. Which Eric can Mighty Leap to kill Haynes' creature, or he can Vizier to remove the counter from his Unwavering Initiate. It's a pretty big moment here.
I like the Vizier play here because the Initiate already is beating the Cunning Survivor, in general, so you don't really need to remove the Cunning Survivor from the board. And this way, you also get to develop your board at the same time.
Yeah, and he's a tiny bit ahead, and when you're ahead, the Mighty Leap's a lot better. He doesn't really want to use it to trade for the 1/3, so pretty well played by Eric. Let's see what Alex does. He's kind of falling behind on board. He's got 1 less creature. He did draw a Fervent Paincaster, so he can actually do something relevant this turn, and it actually interacts really well with the Blazing Volley. So probably one of his best draws, other than a Mountain.
Yeah, it's not unreasonable just to cast the Paincaster because the Avenger is exerted. Then you're not taking that much damage this turn. But Eric draws a very good counter there in Open Fire.
Yeah, so we're going to see Eric very likely just kill that Paincaster right away. Well, we'll see. He's going to start with an attack. He still has the Mighty Leap. And these blocks make it so that Eric's going to trade the Unwavering Initiate, unless he wants to trade Mighty Leap for Aerial Guide.
I suspect he's going to have to Open Fire the Paincaster instead, just because otherwise he just loses a Catcher's Avenger.
Yeah, it was I think good blocks and also well played by Eric. Hayne did draw a 4th land, but it unfortunately wasn't an island. But this at least lets him get the Emberhorn Minotaur on the board.
Wasn't a mountain there.
Yeah, well, so it goes, man. It happens. But Hayne actually, I think he's got more mountains than islands, and he had a game earlier against Ben where he was just really stuck on red mana. Eric draws a land, which is pretty nice. But this kind of goes to what I was talking about, the Emberhorde Minotaur. Normally it's really good, but when you're playing against a red-white deck, it's just kind of awful.
Yeah, and The timing on exert works out a little awkward here, where another island there for Hane.
Yeah. Still a good draw, though, but not a mountain, obviously.
Yeah, where Eric would like to be able to exert the Talkrop Elite the same turn as the Avenger to get a lot of damage through, but he's not going to be able to.
Yeah, Hane making attack with no exert. Obviously, if Eric does block, he is going to open himself up to Blazing Volley, and Alex is going to get in the 5 damage and play a True Heart Twin. So actually, Alex is in better shape than I thought he was here. He's got 2 removal spells in hand, which right now, it doesn't look like Eric has a play that involves not playing a Dauntless Save in this turn. So the Blazing Volley is going to be pretty good. Let's see what happens. He's going to attack with the Talkrop Elite. Puts aim to 9, though, and with the Mighty Leap, he might have lethal next turn, but we'll see. He's going to flashback the Unwavering in this shit.
Ooh, Unquenchable Thirst is a very good draw for Hane there, because now he's going to have an answer to the Talkrop Elite if he wants, plus Blazing Volley for the Avenger. Also, Hane can attack and exert both of his creatures to give his whole squad +2/+0s. Emberhorn Minotaurs hitting for 7, which means Eric has to block the True Heart Twins at the very least.
So let's see what Alex... I guess he's very likely to just volley away the Avenger and lock down the other creature. Does he have to exert both?
He doesn't have to.
He could exert just...
He almost assuredly has to exert... He almost assuredly has to exert the Minotaur, otherwise the Unwavering Initiate just blocks it.
Yeah. I'm thinking that... Is it a better play just to exert with the Minotaur? Because, like, then the True Heart Twins... It can be double block. Well... Eric might then just double block the True Heart Twins. I guess he's going to combat, so Alex has figured out what he wants to do.
You might just attack with the Minotaur? No.
Looks like that's what he's thinking about. The True Heart Twins is like, I guess, pretty valuable to him, but the problem is Eric is just, even if
he's just going all in here.
Yeah, he's got to double block the True Heart Twins.
Well, but Eric.
Oh, yeah. Is that? Yeah, and that leaves Alex in a spot where he's going to kill both of Eric's remaining creatures, and then in 2 turns when the Emberhorn Minotaur comes off, it's just lethal because he's going to go to 10. He's going to go to 2 life here, and the Cunning Survivor also is lethal. So yeah, this is probably the best play. He even exerting the True Heart Twins is like, I guess Hane, or actually Eric might chump. Kind of like that.
Eric is trying to go for lethal with Mighty Leap. It's not going to work out that great because Hane is going to kill 2 of Eric's creatures this turn, essentially, with Unquenchable Thirst. But Hane also has both his creatures not on tapping, so Eric still has I think Eric's still going to win if no one else draws something relevant. Because Eric attacks, puts Hane to 6, plays 2 Dauntless Avens. Yeah,
and the 2 Dauntless Avens also unlock his Talkrop Elite. Might not be relevant at this point, but... Yeah. It's going to come down to probably Hane needs to draw a Cycler or a Mountain, maybe, might win him the game because he can remove one of the... But the Mighty Leap will kill him, probably.
Yeah, so it's really whether Hane can draw a Cycler this turn.
Yeah, Alex needs a Cycler or he's going to lose.
There he goes.
Desert Ceradon. That's a good play. Draw the Desert Ceradon.
Yeah, that's very smart.
And Alex is going to barely win this game.
Wow. Did not think he was winning that game. That was a good comeback from Alex.
Yeah. I think Eric really played well, honestly. Like, he wasn't, like, he didn't leave himself open to any of Alex's, like, Blazing Volley turns. I mean, I don't know if he was thinking about the Blazing Volley, but more of just, like, kind of playing the Unwavering Initiate and being, like, a little bit patient when he needed to be. But Alex actually gets the win, and we're going to go to game 3 here. I think both players are likely just going to submit what they have.
No, but Eric has, but as is your team strategy, you take the full-time sideboarding. So.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know that I've been timing on my sideboarding, but like every match, I was thinking about boarding in the Bounty of Luxa, and then I just decided against it. And then there was another match against Eric where I considered boarding in a basic Swamp for like 2 minutes. I feel bad about it, but I was trying to think like. He was just really aggressive, and I needed to like play my things on time, and I was siding in a black 2-drop to block. I don't know. So I do apologize to everyone for that. I didn't realize how brutal that full 3 minutes is. Looks like Inferno Jet's coming back in.
Yeah, which is funny because that's a card I think you'd want more on the play than the draw.
Yeah, I think that it seems like it's going to be a race, and I think Alex thinks that the Inferno Jet is probably, even though it's like really expensive, he does have the 2 Cunning Survivors, so it's like reasonable card to cycle. I think that I don't know exactly what he decided out. Looks like he's actually decided putting the Kindle Fury back in, which cheap spells are good in this matchup. I think Eric, like we talked about before, is just going to get ahead every game.
Is that a Slitherblade? It's sneaking its way in.
I like that. I don't know if I like that, but I trust Alex, so it's okay.
I hope Alex draws a Slitherblade on like turn 6.
I hope Eric's at 1.
Touche. Well, there's the Locust God. I think I see how this one's going, especially since Eric's hand is
slow.
Is very slow, but it's kind of hard to mulligan a hand with 2 Cyclers, and Sand Strangler is pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, Sand Strangler is probably Eric's best card in this matchup, other than like maybe.
Look what he drew on turn 1. It was the Slitherblade.
All right, coast to coast. Oh, Eric draws a 2-drop. All right, this right. Alex is choked on lands. I think that we might have a game here, especially if Eric can draw a desert in the next 3 or so turns.
Eric draws Romanop Ruins over the next couple turns. Actually, how many deserts does he have? He just has...
He has 3, I think. Yeah.
So he actually has a sane amount of deserts.
Ooh, the camel. He is really hiking through the deserts right now. Or I guess he isn't, but he wants to be. Camel's very sad, like in the mountains and on grasslands. It's not quite as excited without the desert. Luckily, all of Eric's deserts comes into play untapped, which is kind of nice. Like I've been in this situation so many times that Eric's in, but the desert I can draw is tapped, so it's like really bad. So that's the one thing he has going for him. And it looks like Alex drew another land, which is really good. It almost ensures him to be able to like cycle the Ceradon and curve out Puncturing Blow into Twins and maybe the Locust God.
Basically, Eric needs to draw a desert this turn, and then I think the game could be closed. Otherwise, I think Eric's in a lot of trouble.
Yeah, he draws a Plains. He does have the Cycler. Looks like he is going to fire off the Cycle here. He gets a Dauntless Haven. Okay, that's not nothing. That's a pretty good draw to keep it a little bit close. Let's see if he attacks with the Camel. He does. Alex going to opt to block, I think. Force the Kindled Fury.
And this actually does force it if Alex does cycle.
Yeah, Alex is definitely cycling, especially because the Survivor is just not doing much, and actually forces Eric to hold on to that Dauntless Haven for one more turn, which is pretty good for Alex because one of the ways that he gets in really bad shape is if Ifro draws into a desert, but he's in a situation where there's not that much pressure on the board. I guess he does have the Mummy surviving, so he actually has decent pressure. Never mind. Blazing Volley is the draw.
Well, it's a reasonable card.
Yeah, I mean, it does deal with the Aven and any subsequent X1s that Eric draws. The Slitherblade is not really doing much this game because Hayne is on a control plan, but looks like we're going to go with a Minotaur, which will probably get open fired.
Yeah, this would be the turn where Eric needed that desert.
Yeah, Eric would probably just win if he drew a desert this turn because he can Strangler, and then on the next turn he can go Sand or he can go Open Fire and Dauntless Haven, but didn't happen. So Alex hits another land.
Yeah.
And the Trueheart Twins isn't going to die to the Sand Strangler, so he's just going to slam it. It's pretty nice.
So Eric's in a spot where he can't beat a land, and he certainly can't beat spells. So
Eric can draw a Sandblast, maybe? It's not even that good. Okay, he has an Aven, which, if Alex doesn't draw land, he has the Blazing Volley to deal with it.
And Alex now draws a Champion of Wits, so he's going to be able to find his 6th land most likely if he plays it. He could also, if he wants to be very conservative, like Puncturing Blow the Camel.
Yeah, like Eric has already cycled 2 of his Wind Shepherds, so we're in a situation where Alex is much more likely to just kind of start dealing with the threats on board because Eric actually doesn't have that much in his deck. I mean, I guess he has the Manticore. Looks like he is going to go for the Blazing Volley plus Puncturing Blow play because I imagine if he was going to volley, he would champion a Wits first.
Yeah, that makes the most sense.
which is reasonable. He's not really under any pressure. You know, I think that this play, Alex is probably thinking he doesn't want to die to like a combination of Mighty Leap plus more flyers or something. He actually just passed, which seems like a kind of bizarre play because he's not even. I guess he's thinking that he wants to play the champion after the Locust God because that gives him 2 1/1s. But I feel as if he untaps with the Locust God, it just doesn't matter.
Yeah, but he drew the 6th land, so.
Yeah, he did draw the 6th land, so he looks really smart now. But still, I feel like the window is bad because now like Eric could maybe kill him or get him very close to dead this turn, but he draws a plains and he scoops, and that's going to be it for the TDSL this week.
That is. It's going to be it for the TDSL for my team as well. You have defeated us. You're on to the finals. Next week is a bye week. There's no one playing next week. But the week after, we've got Team Madison versus the Peach Garden Oath, and then the winner of that plays your team. So that will do it for TDSL today. It was good matches.
Unfortunately, we didn't get the sweats Siggy versus LSB in the finals, but obviously I'm happy about that. So
that is how it goes. So until a couple
2 weeks from now. Yep.
We'll see you back here in 2 weeks for the next chapter of the TDSL. Later.
Bye-bye.